It's a whole lot of mighty shit going on. Shout out to all them vice lords across, especially my boy King Town and Lord D too. Yeah. V-I-C-E-L-O-R-D, V-I-C-E-L-O-R, yes, mighty. Put that on the fire, 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 look at it. V-I-C-E-L-O-R-D, V-I-C-E-L-O-R, yes, mighty. Put that on the fire, 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 look at it.
M-I-C-I, drug, conservative, traveler, now we all use mighty. I rock with my brothers, I never deny. You forward them flowers, somebody gon' die. I come as I am, forever remain. I'm about to die, that ain't never gon' change. Bring the rotation, this type of a change. Shout out, little boy, free, I'm out of the lane. To the king, I'm pushing your dream. I was born for this, I was made for this. And I put it on the fire. In your video going live. I be throwing up the fire. My brother slide, I'm slide. And I put it on the fire. Fuck a hater, crucified. You cannot see without the eye. 22 12 to the day that I die. I'm white Lord like I'm Charlie Mack. I can go to the soul, nigga, that's a fact. Yo,
V-I-C-E-L-O-R-D, V-I-C-E-L-O-R, yes, mighty. Put that on the fire, 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 look at it. V-I-C-E-L-O-R-D, V-I-C-E-L-O-R, yes, mighty. Put that on the fire, 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 look at it.
But there is sacrifices that will have to be made. You understand? I might very well lose my life because I'm sick of it too. And this is one of the reasons that we're doing the things that we're doing here today and trying to create.
V-I-C-E-L-O-R-D, V-I-C-E-L-O-R, yes, mighty. Put that on the fire, 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 look at it.
That's what's been happening throughout our country. There's been a glorification of this gang structure, and that's why it's so serious today.
The basic fact of life about Mayor Daley and all of his colleagues is that they do see a threat here on the west side. You know, they give misinformation to protect their game. Now, their game is that, you know, there's got to be the have and the have-nots. See, that's the only way the structure can survive. You know, it's projected that way. Now, when people over here start getting money in their pocket and have time to think about housing, voting, all these other things that make this world go around, or makes this country function, then we're a potential threat to him. You understand what I mean? We can become a power structure that he may not be able to deal with. You know what I mean? He's protecting his game. He wants to get voted back in on his next term of office.
He's afraid of the gangs from a political viewpoint?
He's afraid of the whole projection that they can become politically involved or form some kind of economic base that someone else may have to deal with. He's afraid of us growing and becoming constructive.
So, what do you see as the political future for CVL?
Well, now that's a wonderful question. For CVL's political future, well, what Mayor Daley just said looks very dim.
We got too much going for ourselves. You know, we realize this, and Daley and Hanrahan and the rest of them realize this. This is the reason why that they're trying to down with the gangs. Because the gangs are beginning to look at things just like the politician does.
Now, this map here shows
Well, peace and blessing. Greetings, everyone. I'm Main C. I'm one of the co-hosts on this podcast. Welcome to another episode of the Golden Star Podcast. Today we have Brother Marcus, Osiris, and the Brother Ghost on this panel. And we're basically here to speak on the politics of vice lords and somewhat what is our standpoint. I'll begin with my view. And I also began with making sure that people understand that this is my take on it, not necessarily a reflection of the nation as a whole, collectively. But when it comes to the politics of vice lords, dealing with regular politics within the world. I think we've changed our stance over the years, and part of the reason is because when we tried to get into politics, that's what kind of made the official people start to take real notice to us and started to push back against us, which obviously made us go into like, okay, well, we can't go that route. But when it comes to the politics, we do believe that us as a people, namely a group of black people, namely, we do believe that we've been oppressed to a point that where we can't express our views. Politics is a way of life. A lot of brothers and sisters somewhat stray away from politics because they get dirty at times. But politics determine your schooling. It zones your housing where you live. Politics actually puts you in a class to where your medical care is determined. So politics is very essential in what we need to try to do. Now, I personally don't think that we address politics enough. We get caught up into the street sector of living vice lord and forget that there is a side that we have to take control of with the politics. Now, I think with the politics, since we've been put in a position to where we can't really come outside and express our views sometimes, we have to create mechanisms and avenues that we should can address politics through. I look at what the sister Fannie Lou Hamer did when they wouldn't allow her into politics, and she went and created, the Mississippi Democratic Freedom Party. I think our stance on politics should become of that nature, not necessarily attaching ourselves to a already previous existing political group, but to create our own, so that the voice that speaks from the narrative of a vice lord. I'm going to go ahead and go to the brother Osiris next. If I'm not mistaken, this is in order. I just go with the brother Osiris. It looks like the order. You may be muted, beloved.
Yeah, I think you muted, fam.
Are you muted, Osiris? Okay, we'll come back to you, Osiris, once you figure out the mute button if you haven't got it. Brother Marcus, are you unmuted?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you, brother.
All right, I'll introduce myself. I'm Brother Marcus. I'm the founder of the Black Man Stand Up Movement, and also the owner and operator of CPCS Broadcasting and Stand Up Radio. I use both of those platforms to do exactly pretty much what it says. It's self-explanatory. Black man stand up. Did I get these principles from Vice Lord? Love, peace, truth, freedom, and justice has everything to do with that. Has everything to do with being a responsible man in your community and in your home. Being a responsible father. Being a responsible husband. A responsible son, uncle, nephew, grandson, grandfather. Okay? And I've actually spent probably 3 years living here in Tucson, helping people register to vote, giving people education on how to vote, what to vote for to make a difference and be impact on a local level. That template could be added to that has a government that you vote for with our people living there. I found out how to restore rights and under what stipulations, if you can or not, in all 50 states. That information's free. We just don't know where to look for it. And I just published a book. I survived Murderapolis 1996. 1 week after I came home, I was shot 6 times. I was 17 years old. Are we not supposed to take these experiences that we have and make something out of them to stop these younger ones from going through that? I don't know about y'all, but it breaks my heart every time I see a teenager get smoked. It messes with me because I remember I was a teenager that was fighting for his life. I had to accept at 17 that I was dying, and I closed my eyes and I woke up in the hospital almost a month later. That was crazy, right? As a kid, you know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of stuff that stems from stuff like that. All of us are vets. Some of us these days to this current date are young vets. And it's politics when we do outreach, like going to the hospital and talk to the young brothers who got killed, to do other type of work in the street for violence prevention and some more stuff. We're qualified to do that, being from where we've been. And we're all grown now, well over 35, some of us in our 40s, some of us getting close to 50 if we're not there already. This is our time in life and our chapter of life to do that, just like when we were teenagers and in our early 20s, when we had the older brothers holler at us, tell us to get off the block. You know, try to show that's politics, that's family politics. But then once you get involved in your family, you're going to send your kid to school. And if you don't like what's being taught at school, you have no reason or room to complain if you don't go to the school board meetings, if you don't go to the city council meetings, if you don't find out who's doing what, so you can cast a vote that's going to be won on a popular vote, nothing like the presidential election. And that stuff shapes the economy, the housing, the price of rice and everything in your local area. Who gets the funding for the schools and the parks? Who gets the funding for hospitals? Who gets the funding for public transportation, for clinics? Right? Rec centers. So our kids in North Minneapolis, the Boys and Girls Club got turned into a police station. That police station they were protesting in front of for Jamar Clark all them years back, that used to be a Boys and Girls Club. So gentrification is politics. Gentrification is politics. And gentrification is happening where I'm from. I'm from South Minneapolis. George Floyd riots, that was politics. That was politics. That was extreme politics, but there's more politics that come beyond that. And if we don't address these things and even go as far as to fill some of these seats and gain the education that we might lack, then we're just letting everybody else make these decisions for us. And they get to write our narrative instead of us. Our political platform is love, peace, truth, freedom, and justice. That's a cornerstone of everything that we stand for. That translated in don't lie, don't steal, do the next right thing, if you ask me. You know what I mean? So when I was lost out there and I had to recover from drugs and all of a sudden I found myself, I'm a single dad now and all that stuff. The 10-point Panther system and Lordism is what got me to turn my life around. The true meaning and essence of it. I'm looking it up on my computer now. I got the 75 in front of me. So I wanted to be able to go to it and be like, okay, this backs it up. That backs it up. That backs it up. But that's the name of that book, the Augmented Path of the Golden Star. All of our answers are right there. And if we know that, we could tell who's walking that walk just by watching. That's what wisdom says, right? But how to activate our politics, a lot of us just lack the education. You know, some of us have too many felonies. There's certain things I can't do with 3 violent felonies, even though I've been out of prison for 15 years. I went to jail for 15 years still, you know what I mean? So I fucked up really good in my 20s, you know, but I could pass that education on, and that's part of that each one, teach one. So I think this is beautiful. Thank you for inviting me to this. I'm grateful. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's this in our literature to be active in this stuff. It is. Just based on that's what that means. In that order, love, peace, truth, freedom, justice. We don't really have to try to put a positive light on this if we just follow the rules and the path that was laid before us, that we give our elites and supreme elites thanks for every Friday, right? Every holy and divine day. So like, just like with Christianity, where Jesus say, hey, if you love me, keep my commandments. When you love something, that's what you do. When you serve something, that's what you do. and you live by a code of conduct and everything, that's what you do. You know what I mean? So I ain't trying to like take over or nothing. I could pass the mic, but you know, that's it. Gratitude.
Brother, thank you for that. That was very powerful, brother, and I'm quite sure it was insightful to the audience. Brother Ghost, you want to chime in, beloved?
He basically spoke for everybody, beloved. What he said, that's the scheme of politics, them principles. That's what we standing for. Can't hear you, sir. No, I can't hear you out. Look at your mic. Look down.
It might be his earpiece too.
Press it. Look, if it's saying it's muted, listen, listen. I'm gonna tell you. Look at your screen. If it's telling you at the top, you muted. It's a mic down there. It ain't doing that. Turn your phone up then, or turn your Bluetooth off and turn it back. Because if you can hear us and we can't hear you, it's just something simple.
Yeah, he might have to disconnect his earpiece.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Not. All right. See, I can read your lips. Go ahead. He said he finna chime back in. He finna redo it and chime back in.
Were you still speaking, Ghost?
I mean, at the end of the day, it's really what we gonna do. It's like what he said, but we all gotta stand though. We can't be bickering back and forth.
The four
We all gotta
emotion.
stand on. Yeah, but now look, see, certain people gonna understand the emotion part, right? But when you say that, it's really like what you mean by that. You get what I'm saying? There's a
Right.
structure behind the emotion too. Impulse come with that, but we ain't gotta worry about the impulse. You can see the impulse, but that emotion you can't account for. It's a background when it comes to that type of emotion. The ones with the structure know the emotion we talking about. You got the structure.
Right.
You know when you grow up in them type of households, you know the structure to understand the emotion to run from. It's a lot of them emotions out here. You can't combat against them because they're not gonna understand the same thing that we know. That's the difference. That's one root to the problem. If you don't grow up in households with fathers and mothers, see the grandfather dealing with the grandmother. We came from them households where your grandma had 16, 20 kids. You
Right.
growing up with two uncles. So you know the structure. It's a tank for a tank. It's a tank
I
for
really,
a tank, man.
yeah, I really, there has to be some way to develop programs with incentive that initiate a lot of this education. Now, this is what trips me out. Where I went to high school, I was like one of 4 black kids in the whole school. It was the only high school in town. I went to high school in this small town. My stepdad got his first lawyer job out there. He was the first black lawyer in North Platte, Nebraska. Check that out, right? But they had foreign language classes and government classes and classes that teach you finances and stuff. And I signed up for those classes in my junior year. They put me in carpentry and mechanics. I told them I wanted to be a lawyer, and they told me I'd be a good carpenter. That education is not necessarily offered
Right.
in our schools, and it kind of goes. It refers back to what I was saying. Like, we got to show up at our school board meetings if we got kids in school. If you got your kids or not, your kid goes to that school.
Mm-hmm.
It should matter to you what they're teaching to your children. It should matter to you what they're eating. You know what I mean?
Main thing.
What kind of people are teaching them, what they allow there, what they do not allow there. You know, I pay close attention to my daughter's history curriculum. I'm a history nerd. My daughter, I have to explain to the teachers, my daughter already knows the story. So don't get down on her if she gets frustrated with you and say, hey, it didn't happen like that. Because my dad said, and I showed her. You know what I mean? So education begins at home too. You know? And if you don't got your kids, the little times that you do, plant them seeds. I got 4 other kids that I didn't have a relationship like I do with my youngest. You know what I mean? So like what it looks like, you know, versus what it is when she gets to know me. You know, I'm the best man I've been in my life right now when it comes to shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's because I fell down enough and messed up enough that I got sick of staying that way and I had to do something different. And I found this really dope path. It's kind of hard, but it's not dangerous. You know what I mean? And you know, it can be hot, bring some water. You might have to go hungry and struggle and, you know, make sacrifice to get ahead here and there and stuff. But that builds character and strength and everything. And that's what a man does. That's what a man does. You know what I mean? So if there's a way, I'm trying to develop it here in Tucson. You know what I mean? You know, the current movement, the Youth Against Gang Violence. I participated and saved the kids from incarceration with the school to prison pipeline in the past. My local area needs something like that. I'm about to tap in with these lokes. I live in this Crip neighborhood. They throw up the foe for 4th Avenue. That shit's crazy. Small, crazy world we live in, right? I thought they was foes when I moved here. They Crips, but they cool. They doing some real community restoration and progress. I live in their community. Hell yeah, I should contribute to that. I go shopping at the same store they do. My kid plays at the park with their kids. We see each other at the gas station, at the dispensary, at the corner store, right? The Dollar Tree, all them places. You know what I'm saying? So it, you know, we have to speak to one another, and then once we get together, then just at the park the other day, I had to work. They had a whole pool party there, set up for the kids to go swimming and free food and some more stuff. You know, we put
within their community, right?
Yeah, these are the brothers doing that, and there's hardly any black people here.
But look,
the town is like 7% black.
That's their structure.
You know, and so how do we build that though?
You speaking?
You know what I mean?
Look, it's called a blueprint.
You know, so every local area has its own formula though. What's going to work for me here in Tucson isn't going to necessarily work in Minneapolis. Minneapolis has different problems in Tucson. Minneapolis is a much more violent place than Tucson. Other places are much more violent than Minneapolis. You know,
but think of a way to be able to sit everybody down. Look, within every situation, it's always a piece that can put something together.
Right.
Yeah.
It's always a solution. That's what
I'm glad you.
Everybody can't think like that.
Right. I'm glad you highlighted the difference in the area. Pardon my body. You were still speaking, beloved.
No, go ahead. We could talk together. We could walk what you down.
Well, yeah, I just didn't want to overspeak the brother. But I'm glad you brought that up as far as the difference in the area, because I think sometimes what'll get lost with us is the core principle of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice as vice lords or as Moors, whichever you prescribe to, or if you prescribe to both. We believe those to be the highest principle known in humanity. But those are politics that are changed self. They're meant to change self. What we're struggling with a lot of times is politics that'll change our environment. You see what I'm saying? Because everybody we encounter in the everyday world, they don't prescribe to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. So when we speak on it, they wouldn't even understand it. You see what I'm saying? Because it don't apply to them for whatever reason. You know, I mean, you got different organizations, different nationalities, and so forth. So when we speak about the politics of vice lords, I think a lot of times we'll get in the structure of vice lord, which is meant to do self some good. The outside environmental part with the politics, we have to take control of our community. It begins there. Simple as that. Simple as that. But taking control of our community begins with obviously taking control of our home. Because if the brother Ghost and you, brother Marcus, and myself stay in the same neighborhood, if the brother Ghost has control of his household and has it running effectively to where it can be conducive to the neighborhood, and brother Marcus, if you're doing the same thing in Main CC that y'all are doing that, and I prescribe to what y'all are putting down and do the same thing, look what we just did. We changed the dynamics in our neighborhood by just simply taking care of our home. It's so simple. But getting into the structure of Vice Lord, it taught us that. Like you said, it was there before we even came here. It was already there. Matter of fact, us being Vice Lord, I don't care how much literature you learn, how much law you learn. There's only one thing that binds you to being a Vice Lord, nothing else. That's you swearing in your oath. We all know what that oath states. Be productive for self, family, community, and nation as a whole. Simple as that. So the blueprint was already given to us, as you say. It really was.
Right. Exactly that. And the root of the problem is what wrong turn did we take away from that? And I'll be blunt, when a lot of us decided to be career criminals. And some of us grew up to be dope fiends and bums.
The 80s.
That's totally contrary to that.
The 80s.
That's contrary to all of that.
Absolutely.
Self-care and everything. No man that has self-respect is gonna put himself up under anybody. You know what I mean? And when we see brothers that struggling and going through that, that's a symptom to, that one might need some help. You know what I mean? Symptoms to depression and see, this goes deep, being able to recognize, depression and addiction and victims of abuse and some more shit. You know what I mean? How many of the little lords, right? The ones that are still in school was always at the spot. Never wanted to go home. Did any of us ever ask why?
Yeah, I did.
You know what I mean? A little bit of us would, but for the most part, you know what I mean? Like in my mob, right? In my home tribe, our youngest is doing the best out of all of us.
That's how
he owned dog kennels and some more shit. He got it all legit. Owned brand new cars. His wife just passed away. He's the head of his family and some more stuff. And he did the best out of all of us. He was one guy that we asked why did he, and the story with his mom and classic crack home situation. You know what I'm saying? That brother grew up, got a good relationship with his mom and everything. Now he provides for his whole family. Based off them principles. That oath and everything, right?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I said, bro, how'd you get like this? He said, I did what y'all taught me. How come some of y'all ain't got it like that? This is baby bro. You know what I'm saying? This is the baby foe. You know what I'm saying? So that's proof right there that if applied correctly with discipline, yeah, it could pay off. But when we could do for self, we got to. So of course, like the foundation, the basis of it for self-governing, that's needed if we're going to go out into the world and demonstrate. You know what I'm saying? I lead by attraction. You know what I mean? Law governs all my affairs. There's not really no vice lords in Tucson. You know what I'm saying? So people kind of like, man, bro, what's that? That's what it is. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, that's dope. Man, that's dope. My woman who passed away didn't know what that was. And I shared her. She said, this is the most beautiful thing I ever heard. How come nobody teaches everybody this? Yeah. So we get the honor of being blessed with that. What are we doing?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
be awake. I don't know how to do it everybody's under a different spell.
Absolutely. I think we get lost once again in the knowledge of it. Some people think simply knowing it or memorizing it may make it conducive to what a vice lord is, and it's not. It's the application of law that matters.
Right.
It's the application of it, because you can know whatever you want to know. If you don't live by it, then essentially you don't know anything.
It's nil. It don't matter.
Yeah, you don't know anything. What's you brothers take on vice lord and religion? Because religion, is obviously a crucial part of politics. What's you brothers take as far as that?
Well, it depends on if you follow the history of religion. From day one of religion, down to the
so like my stepfather, the man who raised me, my man's husband, he's a black Muslim. He introduced me to that as a child, and I got to meet him as an adult. He said, "Who'd you end up running with?" I said, "I'm a vice lord." He's from East St. Louis. He says, "You know what? That makes sense." He said, "You was always kind of radical like that."
Right.
So he was born in 1961. He came up in East St. Louis. He remembers the old school lords and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I said he kind of said like he couldn't believe it. He's like, yep, that's right where you belong. You know what I mean? So yeah, he understands it and everything. I study, like, religion is history too. Like I said, I'm a history nerd. So like one thing that I noticed is they all pretty much tell the same story. And then me being indigenous too and native too, I had to ask myself, who did I pray to before anybody put my ancestors in bondage? What language did we speak? You know what I mean? So in 2014, I kind of went on like a spiritual quest, right? And I threw everything out that I learned. I as an adult, I spent like 15 years with the Israel of God. So this is right when I'm turning 33 years old, and they want me to teach for them and stuff. And I did for a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And everything, but like I'm familiar with Islam too. And then I'm also familiar with traditional spirituality as well.
It's been off the whole time. Can y'all hear me now?
Yes, yeah, you're on.
Back, Cyrus. You got the floor, beloved.
All right. What? Give me a second. Okay. When we last left off of the brother Marcus, peace and blessings, bro. Was speaking on the political platform being love, true peace, freedom, and justice. Well, the things that I'm about to get into don't necessarily reflect VL in the sense that we see today, but because I've been given the opportunity to hear DVDs where Bobby Gore was talking to Benny Lee, and it was like he was given Benny Lee gave me some documentaries that was concerning what Bobby Gore's thoughts about Vice Lord, about where he wanted it to go, and his journey in life, things of that nature, and plus the things that I've learned through my journey, through my studies, reading, listening to the documentary that the brothers laid down back in the game, and so in my mind, I came up with a platform. And yes, it's based off a love, true peace, freedom, and justice. But one of the points that I pointed out in the platform was that I said that as vice lords, we believe that every black man and woman should be part of an organization that is geared toward the empowerment of the community. Because the idea behind that is that we're for the people. And if we're for the people, then the object is not to make everybody conform to what we think and believe, but to make everybody understand that they have a position on the social and political chessboard, and to improve not only their community, but help others improve their community as well. Because we have to coexist with other people, with other ethnic groups, with and things of that nature. But first, we have to learn to coexist with each other. So the platform that the point that I came up with was that as VL, we believe that all Black people should be a part of some organization that is geared toward the empowerment of the community. In doing that, I personally believe that as brother vice lords, that what we need to do is position ourselves within our community. And the one thing that I try to do, like where I work at, I'm the lead operator. So I try to I put myself in a position within this company to where I can hire brothers to get brothers jobs. Because my little thing, what I have to say is that I can't give you a dope sack, but I can get you a job. Because giving a brother a dope sack, you're not going to be able to take care of when they get locked up, you're not going to be able to get them the lawyer that's going to get them out. You're not going to be able to take care of their families, provide for their kids and things of that nature. And we see this on a large scale. We got countless of brothers locked up for dope charges, but do we have a system set in play to take care of them brothers? No. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, the one thing that we need to learn how to do, or we need to start teaching brothers how to do, is position themselves wherever they are in the community, whatever they're doing in the community that's geared toward empowering the community, is position themselves so they can be an influence within the community to set other brothers up who are in like mind, who are in like position or like social position, to where they can aid and assist. I like using Main C as an example because he has the Yaga program, and that he has this brother has a platform that's a phenomenal. I mean, even with the Vice Lord Museum, using that in itself to position other brothers in position to where we can make an influence or change the narrative of how we're seen. And the only way we can change the narrative of how we've been seen is if we're interacting within the community with the individuals that the community, the people in the community to listen to. So that's one of my, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but it's I have 5 political points that I, like I said, that I came up with, that I believe that is effective within VL. In reading them, if you look at them and know the history of VL, then you can say, oh, okay, I see where you got this from, or I can see where you took from and added to. So that's my key thing. My key thing is that when we get into politics, I think we have to understand that we have to start within the community, because the community is the hallmarks of power. The community is going to make us, and the community is going to break us. And if we don't have the community on our side, then hey man, we're just a planet in orbit spinning nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And so, and to add to that, and one of my things that I always stress, I don't care how strong our political system is, how our economical system is, our social system is, if our moral system is not in check, then all other systems are going to be corrupted. Like I told one brother, I said, brother, you can know all the teachings, you can know all the oaths, all the laws, but if you are morally corrupt, you're just a tyrant. You're a dictator. You're a dictator with laws. Mighty.
That's well. One of you brothers want to respond to anything that brother just highlighted?
No, he had already stated.
Are y'all hearing me good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he had already stated before he said anything. He said that's outside of what we was talking about. That was outside of us. So that's his mind state as far as what his views and what he see is an alternative to what's going on. He right. He said nothing wrong. These are all ideas that's supposed to come together at the table for real. You say what?
That's part of the recovery that we need to undergo.
Yeah.
He tells on a good piece of that.
He chunked it. He took a decent chunk out of it.
As
It's all about
the brother Cyrus was alluding to, in the 1980s, Minister Rico, my chief, the brother started a program called YAGA, the acronym YAGA standing for Youth Against Gang Activity. It kind of died out in the early 90s. Here of lately, myself and another brother, High C, is picking it up in the last few years and built a program, built it into a program that's doing wonders in the community. But Vice Lord is in such a stagnated state that a lot of brothers and sisters see it, and instead of trying to embrace it and push it in their community, they have the outlook of, well, that's main C thing, or that's the conservative thing. And
it's a Vice Lord thing.
We're addressing all issues that plague the Black community, just on behalf of Vice Lord. That's simply all it is. And as a matter of fact, on behalf of the people at large, on behalf of the people at large, because Vice Lord itself has never been about strictly Vice Lord. That's one of the things I love about Vice Lord. I've yet to find a piece that speaks solely to Vice Lord. So when we speak about us building and doing all of these things, it reverts right back to the Black community. Simple as that. The Black community, for a better economical development for Black people as a whole within a nation as one. I've never heard it say for the Vice Lord. So that's one of the things I fell in love with once I became a revolutionary within Vice Lord. Because at first, I was a gangbanger. I'm talking about. I had to learn to become a Vice Lord, but I had to go to prison actually and gain an understanding of Vice Lord, because then once I got there, I had brothers that knew what Vice Lord was to show me what it was. So now, even though I'm not perfect, as a reflection of what they taught me, I'm able to get in the community and do the work. Simple as that. Vice Lord have to get back. This is political as well. We have to get back to addressing issues such as this. You go to work. Each one of us have a job. Can you go 2 years without working at that job and show up and still say you the lead manager at that job? You see what I'm saying?
Not a million years.
We have so many off-count, stagnant, unproductive people that think they're the hottest shit since tuna in a can. We have to fix that. There is no Fortune 500 company on earth where you can go 2-3 weeks absent and think you're still a part of that company. Simple as that.
Indeed.
But it all starts too with how we distribute all the information now. It's a new way how we got to get everything out.
We're at the 43-minute mark. I know generally the podcast lasts about 40 minutes. If you brothers want to begin doing like a closing situation, that's fine, and we can move forward. And yeah, we don't want to drag it out, so that we can let the people soak in what's been said on here, and we'll try it again next time. So you brothers want to come with anything to close with?
Hey, just thank you for inviting me. I look forward to our future conversations together and future building with one another. I believe this is a beautiful start to something good. And this whole thing, we covered like what needs to be done and a good portion of why. I like to strongly suggest that next time we speak, we get to identifying more of the problems and adding solutions to them once we do, so that we could possibly walk away from conversations with action. Walk away from it to, and have the ability to get right to work. So that's it for me. Mighty.
On one of them, and can you make the one that with no Becky? Can you?
Well, Mighty, I'm looking forward again working with you brothers. I've met Main C. I haven't met your other two brothers. Hopefully in the near future I can meet y'all too. But yeah, man, I think this is definitely a good start, because it needs to start somewhere, man, somewhere. And I think that the podcast is a platform that we need, but we need to be more vocal. My thing is, if we're not more vocal, we're not going to be heard. We need to be heard. We need to continue to drop jewels. Yeah, it's Main C has I like his cliche. show up. Let's do the work. You know what I'm saying? Instead of talk about it, let's be demonstrators instead of conversators. But at the same time, adding on to the thing is that we have to teach the people, because the people don't know. We suffer because we're ignorant to what's going on. We don't know how the system is playing us, and we're in a game that we don't even understand the rules of the game. And so every individual on the podcast, we know something about the game. We don't know it all, but we know something. Something links us together to let us know and understand that we have a place on the chessboard, and that place on the chessboard is valuable, so we're needed. But if we don't give our value to the people, then the people is not going to know how valuable we are to them, and then in exchange, how valuable they are to us. And I'm gonna leave with this: the brother that influenced me to become vice lord, he told me, he said this at Talene service one time. He said, people don't give a damn how much you know until they know how much you care. Mighty.
Mike.
Brother Ghost.
Yeah, I appreciate you for having me on here. I'm sorry, we definitely need to rotate. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We definitely need to rotate. Hey, Brother Marcus, your story, that's something to behold. You something to cherish. We just all
Gratitude.
mindful of one thing, man. When we speaking about this and we caring about this, what we care for don't necessarily mean everybody care for it. So we got to show how much passionate we are too.
Indeed.
That's what come with this. If we gonna talk about the politics, yeah, we got to get into the churches. Yeah, we got to get into the masjids. That's what's around us. That's what's in them formal neighborhoods. Same way how when you said they threw a party for the kids, that's what we got to do. It's been the same structure. Where you think they learned it from?
Right.
If it's a reform, that's how we got to do it. It's the same as always. We stand on principles. We stand on the core values. We understand the errors of the ways. We live the errors of the ways. That's called trial and tribulations, right? Those for the ones that read the Bible. And trials and tribulations. We've been
Yes,
going
sir.
through this for too long to understand something. If we can understand one thing, everybody could at the same time too. But you just can't put it in their face. As a Muslim, we can't force the deen on you. So we got to lead. We got to show you another way. So it's the same with everything else. We just got to draw. We're removing the signs. It's going to come together. It's all going to make sense. With that, I'm out. Salam.
I'll close with one of the things that I think we should make sure we get back to is an understanding that there's three different concepts, three different aspects of Lordism. With those things obviously being our lower self to the middle stage to our higher self, which would be the physical, the mental, and the spiritual. You know what I'm talking about? We say the name Vice Lord, but the overall mission is to become Lord of our vice, and we were never intended to die as a Vice Lord. We are Vice Lords. In our death, we should be Lords of our vices. Simple as that. That would make us a true crown and glory. I know that the organization itself was started in 1957. It actually hit the streets of Chicago in 1958. But I argue anybody that Vice Lord started long before then. Pepperlo simply put it in formation for us to be able to say this is our entity, this is our given to the world. But we refer to ourselves as rulers for a reason. Now, when you think of a ruler, what is that? What is a ruler? But then you go back to all religious books. I don't care if it's the Holy Torah, the Holy Quran, the Holy Bible, whatever you can go to. In the beginning, God made man. What was the commandment? Go forward, be fruitful, multiply, take dominion over earth. That was the first commandment to Vice Lord. Right then in the beginning of life, Vice Lord began. And that's why the Quran speaks to us as vice gents. I leave with that. I think the sister may actually have to get back on and stop it, podcast, bro.
Yeah, if she's the one holding